see you guys again. Thank you for returning back to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and support. So today's topic for my new lifestyle channel, get excited, is, are you guys ready? I don't think you're ready. What are you doing? Can you wake up? Just let me know when you're ready. I'll be here. Okay, let me stop playing. So today's topic is, there's a Judas in my circle. Ooh. So for those of you guys who don't know who Judas is, Judas was one of Jesus's disciples. He was one of the 12 disciples. He followed Jesus. You know, he went with him as he healed people. He was there to witness things and so on and so forth. Judas, Jesus already knew, but Judas was one of the people who would betray him. You guys can kind of see where I'm getting at with this video. You know, Judas was rocking with Jesus. He was right there. They were like this. He was in his circle, like he was in his crew. And he was on the low plotting to betray him. And so in life, a lot of times we see that we get betrayed, we get forsaken, we get, you know, cut off by people who we've considered our bestest friends. And this video is really to inform you all about friends and talk to you guys about my experiences. So I've been through seasons where I've had many friends. I've also been through seasons where I've had no friends. And the Lord dealt with me heavily with that. The time that I had no friends is when I first gave my life to Christ. Literally every single person who was once rocking with me disappeared. At first, I didn't understand it. I would cry. I would call my mom. I would cry to her. I would complain, why don't I have friends? I don't even have anyone to hang with, to go to the mall. What's going on? I felt like a loner. And then I started seeking the Lord. And I'm like, God, what's going on? I just made the best decision of my life. I gave my life to you. And now I'm without friends. And God soon showed me that, Cynthia, you don't need friends. I'm pruning you. I'm taking you through a season where you literally only need me and you can rely solely on me. And I realized that that was a beautiful season to be in, because I couldn't say that this person influenced me. I couldn't say that person A caused me to do this or person B caused me to sin, because there was no person A or person B. It was literally me and God. So if anything happened, I could have been like, God, that was all you. Like, you led me to do so and so and so and so. So God showed me that I was capable of being by myself, and I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about who I was. I was able to grow by myself. I'm the type of person, I tend to get overwhelmed being around a lot of different personalities and just being in the midst of people all the time. So God showed me that, you know, Cynthia, this is really who you are. You really just need me. I'm not going to say that you're going to go without friends forever, but in this season of your life, I really need for you to have no distractions. I need for it to just be me and you, so I can teach you a lot. So coming out of that season, I prayed, and until I was just content with it just being me and God. And God soon sent like 2 people that I really consider my close friends, and 2 or 3 people, and I love them dearly. I share everything with them. Almost everything. That's another thing too. It's not every revelation that God gives you that you have to tell people. You know what I mean? Sometimes God's word for us is for us, because sometimes when God gives us a word, we have that vision. God has also birthed inside of us that vision. And when you try to tell that word to someone else, God may not have necessarily given them that vision or that perspective to see where he's trying to take you, or to see what he's already declared for yourself. So that person will now try to discourage you or tell you that it's not possible. So it's really, really essential, in addition to that, to really be mindful of who you tell things and when you disclose information. Sometimes God just wants you to hold on to the information for some time until that person is mature enough to hear what God has for you. But that's a different video. Okay, so Judas, back to Judas. Judas betrayed Jesus. He was bribed with money to betray Jesus, and he told the people who was mingling with that Jesus is going to be the person that when I greet him, I'm going to give him a kiss. And so that's what he did when he met Jesus with the group of people. He gave him a kiss, and that people arrested Jesus right then and there. And it was all because of Judas. And although the devil went inside of Judas and, you know, took hold of him and, you know, pushed him to do that, Judas still played some part of that, because God gave us authority to trample over snakes and scorpions. We have authority over the enemy. So when you feel like when you feel like you're led to do something that, you know, God wouldn't be happy with or pleased with, you now can take authority over your flesh. You now can say, no, I'm going to put my foot down. I'm not rocking. Like, that will get up out of me. And Judas didn't do that because he was bribed with money. So now you see how this correlates with real life, that sometimes people in your group aren't really in your group. They're there physically, but their mind isn't there. Mentally, they're thinking about something else. They're thinking about ways to plot against you. It sounds really harsh, but that's honestly the way it is in real life. I mean, it's happened to me. It's happened to pretty much everyone. Any of you watching this video, I'm sure you've had people switch up on you or betray you or fall back and not necessarily give you an explanation as to why they fell back from you. So this is really just an encouraging word for you all out there. If you feel like there's somebody in your group who's not necessarily rocking with you, if you start to sense it early on in the friendship, pray about it, and don't let it grow to this level of, oh, when a person cuts you off, now you're ready to kirk. You're confused. You need to pray about it. We need to be very, very discerning as well. Pray about the people you have in your group. Pray about your friends, because people may seem like they're with you, but sometimes they're not with you. A lot of times it's usually the people closest to you that hurt you the most, only because you don't expect them to hurt you that much. You're like, what? I've disclosed all my information with you. You know my whole life, and now you act this way towards me. You were the last person I would have thought that would do that to me, and now you're hurt even more because this person is walking away with a chunk of you, with a chunk of your heart, with a chunk of your life, and they know so much about you, so much confidential information, and now they're walking away with that because you didn't have discernment, because you didn't know this person wasn't really with you. So be very prayerful with your friends. Be very prayerful with the people you surround yourself with. And Jesus knew all along. He kept saying, you know, someone's going to deny me 3 times. Someone is also going to betray me. He knew who was rocking with him. He knew that Judas was going to betray him. And the thing about Jesus is that he already knew that Judas was going to betray him, but he didn't treat him any differently. Do you guys understand? Like, he literally sat with him. He ate with him. He kept doing his thing until it was time for Judas to come betray him. But when it comes to us, somebody rolls their eyes. Somebody looks at us a certain way. They look at us up and down. We're ready to pop off, right? We're ready to drag them across the street and beat them up and kick them and stuff. Like, what happened to love is slow to anger. So it's very important, you know, if you are going to put yourself in a situation where you want to be around people a lot, you want to have a lot of friends, it's nothing wrong with that. Just be very prayerful. I don't really prefer having a lot of friends, just because I've tried so in the past, in middle school, you know, elementary school, what have you, and it just didn't work for me because it's just too many personalities I got to keep up with and just too many different people. It's just too much for me. I'm an introvert at heart. I don't like a lot of that exposure, attention, and it's just too much. It's too loud for me. I just like having 2 to 3 people that are close to me that I can share stuff with. So that's my spiel on that. In addition to that, I also want to talk to you guys about having certain friends in certain seasons. There's nothing wrong with people walking out of your life. And I think because we haven't matured, or some of us haven't matured spiritually, or, you know, in that area, we cannot see that at that point. So say, for instance, you know, you and your friend, you know, you guys are cool, you guys hang out, you guys do whatever, and then tomorrow they're hitting you up like, hey girl, I'm sorry, I just don't feel like, you know, God is leading me to continue this friendship. I think he wants me to take a step back, to regroup and to really reconsider this, or to just figure out, you know, my life and to figure things out. Please don't take offense. It's more so about me, and it's more so about what God wants to do with me in my life right now. Then we take offense. We're like, what? And you gonna leave me? We were just at the mall. I thought we was cool. What? So that's how you felt all along? And you start to just begin to just bring up all these things. And it's like, it's not even about you. Let's stop being so self-centered. Like, oh, why is she treating me this way? Why is she me? Me. Me. And it's like, bruh, it's not even about you. It's about me. Like, God is dealing with me about something, and I would be a horrible person to take you along that journey knowing that I'm dealing with a lot of things. I don't want you to be miserable. I'm dealing with the season on my own. I need to be on myself. I need to be by myself right now. And because sometimes we aren't matured in that aspect, or spiritually matured, we cannot see that. We take it as, oh, she's beefing with me, she don't like me, she bringing stuff up that we did in 2nd grade, how I treated her this way and that way, now she don't want to be my friend. It's not about that. It's not every time beef. Sometimes just elevation. I've seen this quote flying around Instagram or social media that says elevation requires separation. Maybe God is just elevating me to a certain level, and maybe you cannot go there. We have to be separated. It's not that we're beefing, it's just that God is elevating me to a certain level. I'm not saying that if I see you on the street, I can't say, hey girl, what's up? We're not going to be besties again, because where God is taking me, you cannot come. There's no shade, you just cannot come. And let's try and get to that point that we understand that, like, there's people that we no longer talk, and am I gonna look at them like, oh, and start telling all their business and stuff because we're no longer where we used to be? No, it's just that God has matured my mind, and I've renewed my mind to the point that I understand that people are going through things. God is calling them to a certain area of their life that I cannot go, and God is calling me to a certain way. We're separating, but we're not beefing. For my ladies out there, for my men out there that are single, you're single, you're in a season of singleness. You have friends that are single because they're able to encourage you, to motivate you to keep pursuing God, to keep being patient in your season. When you start, courting, getting married, dating, whatever you want to say, you are now married. You're now in a different season where you now have friends who are married as well, who can also educate you, tell you how to be a good wife, tell you how to just sustain your home and to depend on God and to still spend time with Him in your marriage. When you give birth, you have friends who are pregnant. You have friends who also have children, who can tell you how to be a good mom, who can tell you how to be a good cook and to do the duties of a mom and a wife. So there's nothing wrong with having different friends in different seasons. I need for all of us to get to a point where we understand that, okay, if this girl isn't my friend tomorrow, I completely understand, because I know that God is calling her to a certain level that I'm not called to go to just yet. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for the love and support. I really appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for what else is to come.